Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Joe Knows the 2021 NFL Draft Class. Today, we are covering your Las Vegas Raiders, and I've got with me a very special guest. He's one of my fellow contributors here at Toilets to Titles. You may know him as Rich Gonzalez, you may know him as the Frito-Bandito, or you may know him as at R Gonzalez RM on Twitter. Rich, how's it going, my friend?
Good, man. Good. Excited to be on the show with you, man. Always loving talking about the Raiders, man. And we got a lot to talk about the Raiders this year. So,
yeah, we do. Yes, we do. I'm so excited. And just to let the fans know out there, the viewers, me myself, I'm a Giants fan. I grew up here, right outside of New York City. Been here my entire life. But here's my connection with the Raiders. They're actually my number one backup team. I have three backup teams: the Raiders, the Dolphins, and the Browns. And so when my team's not doing well, which they haven't been for like 10 years now, I have my backup teams. But the Raiders have a very special connection to my heart. They were actually the first team that I ever rooted for. I'm 50 years old. I grew up in the 1980s. The first game I ever watched from beginning to end was the Super Bowl against the Eagles. I think it was the 1980 season, the 1981 Super Bowl. And I remember a lot of people in the area. I remember my father was watching the game with my father, just kept asking a lot of questions. And I'm like, Dad, who's favored to win? I think he said the Eagles. I'm like, Dad, who do you want to win? He's like, I really don't care, but I guess I'm kind of rooting for the Eagles because they never won a Super Bowl before. I'm like, okay. So I'm watching the game, and I instantly fell in love with the silver, the black, the logo. And then Jim Plunkett took off his helmet. He had the long black sweaty hair. And I was, even as like a 10-year-old, I'm like, that guy's a dude. I like that guy a lot. It was just like a team of alphas. I loved it. I love the old Coach Flores and his wiry hair like off to the side. So, I've always had a big place in my heart for them. When I decided like a year later, I'm like, okay, I really want to follow football. And I was like, all right, I might as well pick a local team. And I picked my Giants. But Raiders, I've always rooted for you. Whenever you've gone to the Super Bowl, like for 83, and then later on in was it the late 90s or early 2000s that you guys went? Didn't you go in, what was it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. And I was rooting for you there. You've always been my backup team. I love you guys. And wherever you move to, I love you guys. So, and this goes out to all the Raiders fans in particular. I have a brother-in-law named Art out west who's a Raiders fan. This is for you, buddy. And but all the great Raiders fan and Raiders Nation across the country and across the world. So you're a great bunch of guys. And before we get to our juicy content, let me just say where you can find the show. And again, that's Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, and Facebook, where we have two pages: Toilets to Titles and When a Family Breaks, which deals with sports and memorabilia. Very cool. Check it out. Hit that like and subscribe button. It takes not even half a second just to hit that button and give us a thumbs up. And if you're watching us in Apple, really appreciate it if you can give us a 5-star Apple review. That helps us out a lot. And you can go to patreon.com/toilets to titles to learn how you can further support the show. Now, moving on to the content in general. You guys had 7 picks in total, which made it very easy for me to do this, to gather all my information, because yesterday I did the Cowboys. They had 11 picks. They really made me work. 7 picks. Thank you very much, Raiders. I appreciate that. There was definitely, I try to see if there's a theme with each draft class with each team, because it usually tells you what the team's needs were, even if you're not following them day in and day out. This one was obvious. It was defense, and especially the secondary. And you also strengthened up your offensive line as well. So, but moving on to your first pick, the first round pick, 17th overall, Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle out of Alabama. This guy has a lot of promise. He's 6'5", 312 pounds, and he played on Alabama's line. This guy is versatile. He played guard as sophomore before kicking out to left tackle for Alabama. Very big, very athletic. I know you needed O-line help, and I think you got a real stud here who, I think he's going to work out just fine as a tackle. And for some reason, if he doesn't, then I think he's going to be the star at guard. That's my personal opinion, but I like the intangibles that this guy brings. And when I saw him at 17 for you guys, I'm like, I liked the pick for you guys a lot. And how did you feel about him?
Yeah, man, it was a controversial call. I mean, that first day and everything. I mean, yeah, there was tons of other players and everything, but I mean, that, going into the draft and everybody was saying defense, defense, defense and stuff. But then with all the moves that they made in the offseason and stuff like that, when he was sitting there and stuff like that, I thought it was a great pick. I mean, look, we need to improve our line. Yes, he is. I mean, solid run blocker and everything. He'll improve on his passing, blocking and stuff like that with training camp and everything. But I mean, he's big. I mean, 6'6". I mean, just a big stud and everything and stuff like that. When you look at Alabama tapes and everything, I mean, their offensive line always looks great, man. So I love the pick.
Yeah, no, I like it too. I think he's solid, and that's the thing too. Is like these videos, just to let the viewers know, these videos are not, or at least for me, I always tell like Rich and the other guests who come on who are fans of these teams, go ahead and give your honest opinion. We're not trying to drink Kool-Aid here, but me myself, the purpose of me doing these videos is to show what I believe, what I believe these players can bring your team. Now, if I think that someone could be a really good backup, every team needs good backups. That doesn't mean that I'm going to say this guy can be a Pro Bowler or even a starter. But I think if someone's ceiling, like say like a 6th round pick, if someone's ceiling is as a good backup, that's okay, and that's a 6th round pick anyway. But we all need that. But I think Alex Leatherwood, I like to give teams leeway in who they take. I understand that there were like some other tackles who were projected to go higher than Leatherwood, but I think if a team likes a guy, then I'm okay with it. And this certainly was not, in my opinion, was not a reach anyway. I thought Leatherwood was one of the best tackles in this draft, and he gives you positional versatility, and that's what you need. And listen, you're helping out your quarterback, you're helping out your passing game, you're helping out your running game, and you got a damn good running game. So when you get that right guy on the line, you're helping out your offense through and through. So yeah, I liked it. Listen, if they like this guy, I like that they had the cojones to pull the trigger on it and take the guy they wanted, regardless of what experts were saying. So
yeah, it was kind of like it was like reliving again when they drafted Colton Miller. Everybody's like, oh, why him and stuff like that. And look at where it's gotten us now. Colton Miller is solid left tackle and everything, and now bringing him in, giving him that time to produce and everything. I mean, we're going to have some solid bookends.
Yeah, and you need him. It's just necessary. That's it. So if there's a guy you like, you gotta get him. And obviously they like him. So I like him too. I like Leatherwood. I like Alabama offensive lineman. Okay, moving on to your second round pick. Safety out of TCU. I like that program as well anyway. But Trevon, I'm sorry, is it Trayvon Morrig?
Trayvon Morrig.
Trayvon Morrig. Okay, gotcha. And I was practicing that beforehand too. I still slaughtered it. I apologize. But anyway, I had my eyes on this guy, even though I was never able to pronounce his name correctly. I had my eyes on this guy because I like safety position. I love I love safety. I love tight ends. I love positions that demand versatility. And this guy, I think you guys got possibly the best safety in the draft. I also, I think that and Javon Holland on the Dolphins too. I think it's maybe between those two guys. But I like Trayvon a lot. In 2019, which is like, the non-COVID year, 2019, he had 62 tackles, 1.5 for loss, 4 interceptions, 11 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles. He also, so in 20, I didn't put the numbers up for 2020. It's too much info, but they were comparable when you project them out. The guy has got versatility in that he can play. He can play the high safety and slot. I misspelled high, but he can play high safety and slot. And before we started the video, Rich, you had mentioned something you really liked about this draft class of yours was the positional versatility that a lot of these guys bring, and he's one of them. I mean, he's a safety, don't get me wrong, but he's an athletic safety who can play the slot. So he's giving you a lot. Second round, he's 6'1", 202 pounds. I like that build for a safety. He's athletic, and you got him in the second round. I thought that was great. Your team needed secondary help. I think you got a key player here for yourselves.
Yeah, no, he was a great pickup and everything. I mean, with the way our team is set up with Abraham and everything, in college, he played a lot more box and everything. But coming into the NFL, he's going to fit that role as, that one that steps back and kind of that general in the back defense and everything, where Abraham, he'll be down in the box and everything. He'll be a little bit more free will and everything. But he's going to have a lot of versatility where he's learning how to cover in the NFL and everything. I think with his speed and everything and just his versatility, to me, he's a perfect fit with what we have right now. Now we just got to get it together and gel.
Yeah, I noticed that he actually, it seemed like he had spent most of his time in college in the box. but I think he's got those traits. Well, I agree with you, Rich. I think he's going to be doing more than that. I think he's got, and remember, viewers, I just want you to remember that college programs too, they want to win games, so they're going to use they're not really really looking to see how they can develop a player necessarily, so we can, they're not necessarily grooming these guys for the NFL. They want them to play the style of defense or offense that they play, and that's what these players have to do. So sometimes they'll seem like they're just, only focused on one thing. Say Trayvon, maybe he was playing in the box, but that just might be just what they needed from him. But he's got the intangible traits that he can do a lot more than that. So I love the versatility. I love this pick in the second round. I love safety position. I think you got the best safety in the draft in the second round. Well done, because those are guys who are worthy of going, anywhere in the first round. Could be high, could be mid, could be back end, and you got him. And you got him in the second round. Well done, Raiders. Well done. Okay, Malcolm Kuntz, edge. Interesting pick. Edge out of Buffalo. So 16th pick out of the third round. He's 249 pounds, 6'2". Those aren't the height's fine. The weight's a little light for an edge, just a little bit. But the guy is long, and he's got a really long wingspan. And in 2019, he was rocking his conference. He was a dominant player. He had 11 tackles for loss, 9 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. And in 2020, again, a shortened season, he had 5 sacks as well. So he's a lengthy player who pursues the running back as well. So this guy can get to the quarterback. He can also get to the run. You can also get a running back as well. He can chase these guys down. So he's got speed. You got a speedy, lengthy player here, and I like him. This is a third round pick. Me myself, I love defense, and I like my guys. Yeah, I want them to be big, but I want them to be fast, and I want them to be athletic, and I think that's what you got here, Rich.
Yeah, I think one thing, I mean, yeah, he got speed and everything. You could build bigness and everything with him going once he gets into the program and everything.
Yeah,
I mean, I think we were looking.
You can't build wingspan.
No, you can't, and stuff like that. And I mean, I think we're hoping for that Khalil Mack hit because he went to Buffalo too and everything. So if he come out and so if he come out and produce, yeah, that's what I mean. That was the biggest thing that we're talking about coming out. Maybe we hit with I mean, obviously he wasn't Khalil Mack in college and everything, but if he comes out and everything and just have another player from Buffalo that could kind of pick up that role, learn and stuff like that. Like I said, wingspan, speed and stuff like that. Look, that's there and everything. Now we just build him up and everything, put him more weight on, and blend in with that speed and stuff, and he'll fit good with that defensive end, learning behind Ngakwe and Mad Max.
Right. Yeah, he's going to need a little time.
Yeah,
and he's a third round pick. This wasn't a first round pick. He's a third round pick at a smaller school, and he'll need to put on some weight that he can manage. And but there's plenty of time to do that. And I think this guy is I think this is a really promising pick. And in the third round, I liked it because I think he's got some really, really nice traits to work with. He put up good production in college. And in Buffalo, we're seeing more and more talent coming out of Buffalo over the past 5 years. And Khalil Mack, I mean, shit, excuse my language, I'm sorry. But Khalil Mack, damn, I mean, that guy was obviously the headliner out of Buffalo. But we're seeing more and more talent coming out of that program. So I'd say everyone, Raiders fans and non-Raiders fans, keep an eye on the development of Malcolm Kuntz. I think he's very interesting. Moving on to your second third round pick, the 17th overall in the third round, Divine Diablo. Now, I've read up on a lot of players before, for like 3 months before the draft, and I had seen the name Divine Diablo, but I will admit I really didn't pay attention to him until I started listening to Toilets to Titles about 7-8 months ago. And I don't know if it was you, Rich, or if it was Coach, but someone kept talking up Divine Diablo here in Toilets to Titles. And that's when I started doing my research on this guy. I'm like, ooh, safety, and that's a really cool name. Let me check this guy out. Safety out of Virginia Tech, 6'3", 226 pounds. Damn, and when it comes to safety, I'll be happy with like 6'1", 6'2", 210 pounds, 212 pounds. That's a solid safety to me, a solid safety build. This guy's a big safety. So the combined last 2 years, and I like products out of Virginia Tech too. I think they tend to be tough guys. Combined last 2 years, he had almost 140 tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, 5 interceptions, 6 pass breakups. For a safety, that's pretty good. Remember, we're not talking cornerback here. He's a safety. Yeah. But this guy you were Rich, to your point earlier, you were talking about something you really like about this class, the versatility of this class. This guy is versatile in that he can play, he can cover the tight ends, and he can play the run. So you might, I think this is a guy in the third round where you've got, someone could wind up being like just an all around safety. And this guy's got frame, man. This guy is. I hope he plays like the devil, like a bat out of hell.
I'll tell you this, man. That name alone and stuff like that just fits the beat with the Raiders and stuff like that.
It does,
When I saw that, I was like, man, I got to get that jersey. I mean, Divine Diablo. I mean, that's like the number one pick you would like to have for a name and everything. It's just awesome. When I saw that, like I said, I didn't know much about him and stuff, everything, and just hearing that name and stuff makes me want to, see what he can do and everything. But man, I love that name. It just fits with the Raiders.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I can imagine if this guy actually hits, if he is say he actually develops not just to being a solid player, say he actually develops into being a star, the Diablo jerseys are going to be flying off the rack.
Yeah, they will, man. I know I'll be one of the first ones to buy it.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. Divine El Diablo. That's going to be awesome. But this is a really interesting guy to watch because he has those traits, those intangible traits. And that's intimidating. He sounds like an intimidating guy, really does. Not just his name, but his size. He does.
Yeah.
But he brings a lot. He brings a lot to your team. I thought it was a really nice pick. You guys are loading up on safety here as you already have two safeties in your first four picks. Trayvon Morris and Devon Diablo. Two really nice picks in the secondary. Well, you might have your safety tandem for the long term here in this draft. You might. Realistically, you really might. Impressive. But we're not going to stop at two safeties. No way, because we got ourselves a third safety in the fourth round. 38th pick overall in the fourth round. Raiders took Tyree Gillespie, safety out of Missouri. 6 foot, 207 pounds. This is more of like the safety size that I'm used to. Divine Diablo is a big dude. Tyree is more of like the typical safety mold. This guy's got size, speed, and athleticism to be a versatile starter. He apparently played, and I didn't realize this. I was just going through notes just in prep for the episode, that apparently played tight end Kyle Pitts. He played him well. I just had that he played him in a game. He played him well in a game. And so I don't know what that means. I don't know if he held him to like 2 receptions or if he just minimized the damage. Who knows? But if you played well against Kyle Pitts in a game, God bless you. It means something to me because that guy's a hell of a talent. But anyway, I think this guy brings you, this could be, I don't know if he's going to wind up being a starter down the road. Heck, you might have gotten your two your starting tandem for the next 12 years, ahead of this guy already just in the same draft. This is a guy who could possibly give you a lot of good depth at safety. And man, in the secondary, we all know, any fan of the NFL, you need depth in the secondary, and not just at cornerbacks. You need it at slot and you need it at safety. And we're seeing more and more where defenses are using their secondary as like interchangeable pieces, where they want guys who can play cornerback. They want guys who can play free safety or strong safety. They want safeties who can play the slot. They want versatility. And I think Tyree Gillespie is going to give you, he's got that flavor. I like it, where he's going to have, like the Giants, we have Julian Love, who a lot of people might remember him. He was a Notre Dame. He's a very good cornerback prospect a few years ago. And the Giants wound up taking him in the fourth round. And he's never been a starter on the team. And it's like you never really notice his name, but he's actually incredibly valuable because he's like basically a backup at like 3 different positions, and he does see the field a lot. And you never hear his name in a good way, in that he's not getting burned, but he does play outside corner, he does play slot, he does play free safety, and he, like I said, we've got some talent that's a little better than him at each of those starting positions, but he plays well at those others. I think that's what Gillespie might be offering here, Rich.
Yeah, I didn't really much follow from what I'm hearing and everything. He's going to be like I said, we're already drafting a whole bunch of players for this defense. That was the main focus going in and stuff like that. And we went in looking at, as far as like picking up as many players that we can, that just was very versatile and everything, that could kind of fit in and be a support role and stuff like that on this defense and everything. And I'll be honest with you, after reading some stuff, like Tyree Gillespie and Diablo, and then the next person we're fixing, these 3 right here could really come in, and when they pick it up and learn, they're going to be great support starting out for the next year or two, and then hopefully developing into some solid late round picks and everything that could really turn this defense around.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we're getting to the end over here too, where 4th round, 5th round, 6th round, 7th round, where I've said in other videos, not everyone's going to be a Pro Bowler. Not everyone's going to be a develop into a starter.
Yep.
And you need good depth too. You need it. And I like I said, just my Julian Love comparison. I just bring it up because I'm a Giants fan. It's the easiest thing for me to, off the top of my head, to bring up these comparisons with the Giants. Is that you need these guys who can play multiple roles. And it's not sexy. You're not going to be buying their jersey, but you need these guys who can back up your stars. And when your stars go down, you're not having too much of a drop off there.
Yeah.
And I like how this guy reads. I really do. I think he's going to offer you some good stuff here. So, and Nate Hobbs, cornerback out of Illinois, 6 foot, 195 pounds. That screams cornerback to me. This guy's got nice dimensions for cornerback. In 2019, he had 10 pass breakups, 67 tackles, 5.5 for loss, and 1 interception. He's also a kick and punt returner. And 5th, 6th, 7th rounds, that's a lot of times when we start seeing those kick returners and punt returners too. So again, you're getting a cornerback here, so you're getting someone to help out your secondary. The Raiders were laser focused on the secondary and on defense, but in particular the secondary. It's obvious this draft laser focused on. They came in with a plan, with a vision, and they were determined, and they definitely tackled that. So Nate Hobbs, cornerback out of Illinois, you're looking for depth here in the secondary. And the guy's going to give you, he'll be an option as a punt returner and a kick returner. I think he focused mostly on kick returning in college, but he also did some punt returning as well. So I think you have a chance here at some really nice depth at the secondary and an option in the return game. What do you say, Rich?
Yeah, no, like I said, I think this gentleman right here, Mr. Hobbs, look, he has potential and stuff like that from just in training camp already. I think he started out on the pup. He's starting on the pup list and everything. But just coming in and seeing some of his videos from last year, his footage and everything. Look, he's going to be a solid all around player, support player, and special teams. Look, a lot of times that's what we're drafting, starting out and everything, is these players to come in and just put their stamp on special teams and develop and everything. He's going to be one of those that develop real well, and this is the one that I really like to see how he's going to develop and stuff. I could actually see him being his adversity and stuff like that, as far as maybe even stepping into a linebacker role and everything, if it puts on some weight and stuff and everything. He could be one of those players, from what I'm hearing, a solid hitter.
Solid, yeah, I like solid hitters. I like that. I love hearing that. So yeah, I thought it was an interesting pick. I like that. And this late in the game, you do want to get guys who can contribute to your return game. Me myself, I'm not a fan of starting my stars, like having them return. I mean, I know other fans and maybe coaches feel differently. Like sometimes they want to put like their best player at the as a returner. I'm not a fan of that. I like having backup players as returners. So I think Nate Hobbs could be a good backup for you at cornerback, and I think it sounds like he's gonna be a nice option for you in the return game. So
yeah,
I think well done. 5th round pick. Well done, guys. Well done. And your last pick, it was the 2nd pick overall in the 7th round. Jimmy Morrissey, center out of Pittsburgh. This guy was, what I like about him, he was a walk-on at Pitt, and he became a 4-year starter. That's impressive. The guy also graduated 3.5 years, and he was a 2-year team captain at Pitt. Yeah, I don't think you don't see that all too often an offensive lineman becoming a team captain, but here he was, a 2-year team captain, and this guy was, throughout his career at Pitt, he was winning conference accolades. He was never recognized as like a top offensive lineman in the country. Not everyone's going to do that, but you see a lot of stuff to work with here. The guy's getting very high football IQ, 6'3", 303 pounds, and he also played some guard in college as well. He eventually settled in at center, and that was his final position in college. That's what he's known as. He did play some guard at Pitt, and so here's the guy who can give you some versatility in the line. But I like hearing that, me, myself, I'm a fan of team captains. These are the type of guys that come in early, they leave late. The type of like secure people that other fellow young, insecure players can come to for guidance. And this is a guy he was a decent player at Pitt. And I think you guys got yourself some good depth here.
Yeah, this was a perfect depth pick and everything, with everything that we went off season losing Hudson and everything. So we already had one that's filling in. We brought one in off free agency, and then, like I said, just that depth pick and everything, just to have that there and everything. And that's the perfect thing. What you said is a captain and everything. look, we need people like that with that kind of mentality to come in and everything. And even him being a rookie and stuff like that, he's going to be step in, and he's already going to know that role and everything, and just develop behind the other offensive linemen.
He's going to wind up probably being, assuming he sticks around and he makes the team, he's going to wind up being probably a voice that the younger players go to.
Yeah.
And then if he's still on the team as time passes, he'll be an experienced voice that all players are going to. I like team captains, I do. And I thought this was a nice pick in your last pick in the 7th round overall. And I thought it was a job well done. So listen, you guys came in with a plan. It was defense, and you also strengthened your O-line too. You got a starter and a guy who's probably backup, but who's got the potential to give you some really good depth. You guys came in with a plan, and you definitely got it done there. So I think it was a job well done by the Raiders. Really like my number one backup team. You guys.
Yeah, I mean, you sit there and think about it. I mean, we had 2 blaring positions that we needed to fill: defensive and line. I mean, that was our 2 focuses going into it, and that's what they focused on through the whole draft. So, like I said, I mean, now it's just waiting to see development out of these players and just coming in and doing what they can do.
Yep, that's all. Hey, listen, we got to give it time. And that's my point about one of my points about this video series too, is give these guys time. This isn't about who you wanted, who you could have gotten. It's who you got. And who you got, these guys, they're only now starting to hit the field. Give them some time. Everyone offers potential, whether it's a Pro Bowler, future Pro Bowler, future stud starter, future decent starter, backup guy, 3rd string. They all have all these. It's needed. That's what builds it. That's what makes it a team. And that's what the Raiders are building here. So that's what you add. I think you added a lot of good quality up and down the line, all over the place, and job well done, Raiders. All right, Rich. So, hey, everyone, Twitter handles at the bottom. That's all of our team members. Great bunch of guys. I love working with them all. Follow them all on Twitter. We deserve it. We're really nice people. And again, before we go, please don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us out a lot. Subscribe. We would love that too if you can subscribe to our channel, and give us that 5-star Apple review if you're on Apple. Even if you're not, you got 30 seconds to spare on the toilet or whatever, just go on Apple, give us a 5-star review. We'll love it. We'll love you for it. Thank you so much. Anyway, guys, we're out of here. I love you all. Until tomorrow, Frito-Bandito, thank you so much for coming on and talking about your beloved Raiders. I'm going to be rooting for them hard, big time this year, man. Especially if my Giants crater like they normally do.
Vegas Raiders, baby. You gotta love them.
Vegas Raiders. All right, man. Take care. Have a great day, Rich. Everyone take care. Catch you tomorrow with another episode.